first half?
Sorry, Pete. Say that again.
You're right.
Sorry.
First half, got the job done.
Yeah, I'm really pleased and proud of the players. We've sort of been through a bit over the last couple of months, and over the last couple of weeks, I've really seen the players in some way lean into what we're trying to achieve together at a really high level. And because they're putting the work in and their focus is around what we're trying to do out there today. I thought the first half, from a defensive point of view, was one of the best that we've sort of been through. So I think we're growing. And obviously we're playing teams that are fairly high up on the ladder at the moment. So we've got to make sure that we're at our best all the time, and I think the players have been able to do that.
Madge, when you say you've been through a bit in the last couple of months, what part are you referring to?
Yeah, probably the times where we weren't getting the rewards off the work that the boys were putting in, and it's obviously getting wins along the way. We had a lean month there where the players, they got together and really built a lot more belief, I suppose, around the things that we were doing, and that's a real credit to my leaders in what they've done. And when they're prepared to do that, you get some rewards, and I think we've been able to do a little bit of that over the last couple of games. We've just got to keep working.
It's 3 wins in a row now. When you look back at some of the scrutiny that the team was under, do you credit the leaders for bringing everyone together? Because it can derail things when the pressure cooker goes up.
Yeah, I probably didn't see a whole heap of that through that period. I actually saw a group of leaders sort of coming together and lifting the stands of what we've been doing. I think that's something there that I saw through that period. And when you do that, you get some rewards. And you can sort of see a little bit of that at the moment, but the one thing about the group is that they know that there's a lot more in them, so they'll stay at it and keep working hard together and creating the opportunities.
Just some of your unsung heroes too. Karapani was great, Shimasaki was he's been outstanding this year. How proud are you of those two guys there?
Yeah, they've been doing really well. Like young Josiah, he's come in there and he's leaving for the ball. He's coming up some big plays. So, but it's a credit to sort of what the group's been doing is. They've all been working hard, so when the opportunity comes, someone like Josiah is taking it.
What about Reece Walsh? He's Palmer out for Origin 3 match. Would you consider him for Origin 3? Do you think he's ready?
Oh, look, I think Reece is ready. I said that through the week. It's whether or not they decide to go that way. I actually think Reece's footy's getting better. And I know we're sort of, he was spoken about early in the season about where he was at when he first came into rounds 1 to 5, and I think defensively, Reece really grew through that period. Unfortunately, he had a break, and he's come back now, and he's working really hard with Renault and the spine there with Ezra being back. And we haven't really had that spine, up until the last few weeks. So it's nice to have them together.
Renault, did you watch the Bulldogs Panthers game the other night? You've got Canterbury next week. What sort of think of the intensity of that, and is that where you guys need to get to? That quality of football is quite high.
Yeah, I didn't catch all of it. Hard with 4 kids and a wife at home. But the parts I've seen, it was good footy. It was quality footy. 2 teams that are extremely competitive in this competition, and from what I've seen, it was a good game. So, yeah, it's going to be obviously a great game next week. Obviously, the Origin boys won't be there from both sides, but exciting to get down to Sydney and test ourselves against a red-hot team.
I know there's been a lot of turbulence at times, but do you feel you're a top 4 team, the way you're playing? Like top 4 team close now, do you feel you are a top 4 side?
Felt that since day one. I know the capabilities and got the belief in this team, and a few results didn't go our way early on, but the belief hasn't changed.
I know you sort of said for a few years now with Walsh, you're trying to teach him not to do everything all the time, I guess, and patience in how he goes about it. Do you reckon, how's that going? Do you think that he's improved in that area?
Yeah, he's improving. Sort of like my kids at times, with him and Az and that out there. Got to tell him a couple of times throughout the game, but look, he brings a lot of X factor to the team, and you completely don't want to shut him off from that. So, you bite your tongue from time to time, but obviously when things get a bit out of control and whatnot, you try and rope it in and get back to the game plan and do the simple things right. But certainly love what he brings, and the energy, all the boys feed off that.
He wants to play next Wednesday. They're obviously going to go hard on him. Is he going to be ready for that?
I'm the Blue next Wednesday, so I'd love to see him in that arena. He belongs in that arena. It certainly would give the Blues a few headaches, things to think about. But like I said, I'm a Blue Wednesday.
Madge, Ben Hunt says he's hopefully ready to go next week. Can you talk us through how you navigate getting him back into the 17?
He's sort of managing that today. He had a fairly decent run, so I'm looking forward to having him being able to be selected. I guess I'll keep those things pretty close to myself about how I'll go about that, because I've got two players in Billy, Bakesy and the halves. They're all playing good footy, so I'll talk to my senior players and we'll manage that over the next little period. But for Hunty, he's just got to get himself right. I mean, it's sort of probably gone a little bit longer than we expected, just with what he's had to deal with. So he's not 100% this week. It'd be nice to have him available, so we're working really hard towards that. And when that comes about, then I'll make some decisions.
Was that your original plan, Madge, like fully fit, that you'd have Honey as your number 9?
I spoke to Honey early days when I first sat down with Honey coming to the club, that with obviously the spine we've got, that Hunty, he's played at the origin level, he's played for Australia, and at 9 he's also played club level at 9 quite often, so he's a very capable player. Just through the circumstances he ended up sort of playing a little bit more 6 this year, but looking forward to being able to have him in and around the 9 jersey when the time's right.
Madge, lastly, I know you've put a sort of line under the Selwyn Cobbo story, but is that likely to change? June 30 he's not here yet. Do you see it changing?
He's a Bronco. I had a really good conversation with him yesterday, and he wants to be here and get the opportunity of winning a competition at the Broncos. He said that's since I've been here, and he's still got that opportunity. And he's working hard in the background, and he's looking fit. So I'm looking forward to when the time's right, have him back in selection.
So you won't release him, Madge, because I know the Dolphins have released Junior too, but so they've got another spot for you.
Someone's going to be with us this year.
Adam, you sticking around? You going to go see Wayne?
Wayne who?
Nah.
My brother's in Sydney.